That's chapter 1. Actually, that was chapter 0. I submitted hundreds of bug reports. I told that idiot that this would happen. Overlapping scripts. More than one AI was found to respawn in an environment at some point. Turns out I missed the point. That little error changed everything. Well, look, Russell.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
And that right there is what? Who the hell does Thomas think he was? So you see? I forget his name. Why can't I remember these guys' names? But he can't jump as high. Thomas can't, so we use them to start stacking each other. And this is where the strategy really starts to kick in.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times.
Chris. I don't know why I forget.
Actually, not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Yes, Chris. It's Thomas and Chris. I don't know how I forgot Chris's name. Chris, you'll come to learn, is sort of, you know, he's kind of grouch. But hey, this is why we like it. Someone has to be the grouch. Yeah, let's get Thomas over here. Switch down, and I'll have Chris finally make his way down. I mean, now after this is when they started actually developing personalities. I mean, Thomas is basically, you can't really build a personality with one person. You can't. You gotta have the contrast with another character. That's how you get to tell.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him?
Now you gotta use teamwork here, because Chris has to get up here, but he can't make this jump.
Grace. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
There you go. I love how the narrator will give you kind of hints, and still be funny at the same time.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
So, you got, now we have precision platforming, which isn't jumping more or less, and really platforming, but make sure you get all the way you can. Just, if you can hang on through a little bit of the edge, just, you need a little bit of them on the platform. That's all you need.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
So now, basically, we'll have them split up a little bit. Thomas to the top raft. Wow, take the top route, not raft. You can do either one in any order, but I kind of like doing Thomas first, then doing Chris. And I like the little bunch of traveling, I forget the exact quote, but traveling quadrilaterals. Wow. Wow, I can't pronounce the word now. Quadrilaterals. There we go. Pronouncing words. Just go down off that one and jump and over Thomas and in for Chris. Ooh.
John knew. He knew that this was his chance. A moment to shine. This was game day.
Welcome to John. So we have now here. We got Thomas. We have Chris, and we have John. John is tall. I mean, really tall. Can I also use? Can I use them? Do that here? No, I can't. I could, but anyways, I like pressing Q. Circle through them. So then we need to have Thomas scoot over a little bit. Chris, get Thomas here. Nope. And then have Chris jump on top and Thomas scoot in. There we go.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where'd they come from, anyway?
John. John, I don't remember John as well. He's not, I don't think he's as memorable, but he just jumps really high. I almost forgot his name when he first got introduced.
John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use, time to show those little dots how it was done. John decided to press the switch, to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies. You could tell from the sympathetic expression he practiced in the mirror all these years.
Oh dear. Just a nice little note here that you'll find out later levels. Chris doesn't have the ability to jump over John, so you'll need Thomas if you actually want to hurdle. Hold on. We need Thomas. Thomas, Chris needs your help again. Yes. Always being a nuisance. Not always, but you'll actually start like bonding with some of these guys, which is actually really cool because these guys are basically quad rivals. And you'll have a liking, you'll have favorites and stuff. I always like this. So he goes in the pit first. It's just a straight shot to the end here. Nope. We need John here. If you can't remember John's name very well, just remember he's long, and it's a Long John. Long John Silvers. I can't remember which day he's John. So Thomas can't jump up there. See if we can actually get Chris in here. Chris! Yeah. Chris! There we go. Now we get Chris over. Jump. And through! I got Chris. And then let's have John. John can handle this with ease, but jump. Have him jump over. Thomas finishes. And then John brings up the rear. Pretty simple. Although we're on 110, 19. No opening narration. We'll get there one soon, hopefully. Ooh. Can't make this jump. Nope. Need both of them. Hooray for teamwork! So sometimes you get this like
John
awkward little
was
bounces.
happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys.
You have an image problem? Jeez. The big jumpers always getting their ego in the way. Now we're starting to require using all three. You get Chris up here, we have him jump on Thomas, we'll jump on John, and then okay, here we'll need to have jump on top, scoot out a little bit, Chris scoot out a little bit, Thomas fall down here, Chris jump up. See, sadly Chris just ends up being more of a deadweight than actually helping much. Because, well, platforming. And if you can't jump very well, it kind of becomes annoying. So Thomas can use him, and then the same thing they do with Chris. Get him over. This is a lot of like repeating. Okay, now you gotta put him here. Now Chris goes up. Now he can't make this, so you have to bring Thomas up so Chris can get up here. There's a lot of repeating and stuff. Now, there's one thing I like to mention, that there actually are kind of achievement sort of things that are in this game. They're like little extras you can collect along the way. Oh, come back here. Come back here, John. But I have already collected them all, and I don't know how to get rid of them. Just like uncollect them again, but I don't know. So let's get. So we need to have the platform come around, collect Chris. There we go. Can I get him on? Yeah, I
He
got.
didn't mind
Oh,
them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped.
Thomas. Okay, so he can't get over. So. Oh! I was not expecting that to actually work. You actually get down, Thomas. Thomas, no! I gotta wait for it to come down again. Thomas! Get on there, Thomas. There we go. Can Chris make this jump? I do not know. Can Chris make this jump? I don't know. Can he? Yeah, he can! Okay, let's get John across. There we go. There you go. And John. There we go, off the platforms. Chris!
The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
Yep. That's a very good description of the two. You have optimistic Thomas, pessimistic sorry, I'm focusing here. Ooh, I didn't think that was gonna work. But hey, it worked! Hooray! We're finally done. There we go. 1-9. Now 1-10, the last level in Chapter 1.
This was interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph.
And Chris needs help. Scoot him across. And have him jump down. Now jump over. And scoot John across. Who did I jump? Move Thomas a little bit out of the way there. Now I need to get Thomas up here.
Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
It's all about making John seem the best, I guess.